Thanks. So, I'm just a boring pension manager. And I have a question for each one of you. What does your pension have to do with factory farming? You own the factory farms. Until very recently, they were all owned by the aristocracy, good place to be to say that, the church, the merchants. Today, McDonald's and Tyson's and Unilever are owned by you through your pensions. It's the democratization of wealth. Join the dots. So we've talked a lot about the ecosystem and systems. So just setting the scene, looking at it through the lens of a pension investor. We're not talking about impact investing and the great companies UMA is developing. We're talking about the lens of investment risk and returns for pension plans. And, Al Gore came up with the inconvenient truth. Finlay yesterday had amazing WMD, weapons of mass destruction. We've got 4, what we've all talked about. Threatens human health, endangers food security, contributes to global warming and consumes our health. Number 1 user of antibiotics worldwide, number 1 user of fresh water, number 1 cause of deforestation, more greenhouse gases than the whole transport sector, and to top it off, animal demands growth for cereals is now outcompeting humans. So we've all heard it's bad for humans. It's cheaper for consumers because of all the subsidies, etc. But it's bad for humans, the planet, and it's bad for investors. And so consumers are starting to become aware. Policymakers are. Businesses are. Where are the pension plans in this? There's a knowledge gap. And just to give you a couple of examples, this was in March, 2 months ago, or 3 months ago, 3 months ago. JBS, the largest meat processor in the world, had a rotten meat scandal that hit the press. Share price fell and has kept falling. You can see it today. 2.2 billion wiped off the shareholder value destruction. Taking a look at Yum Foods. Yum Foods is your favorites, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC. In 2013, you had the first bird flu epidemic in China for Yum Foods. It's had recurrent epidemics all over the place, and it's underperformed the MSCI by 172% in the last 5 years. Not good. So we've put together an initiative, because as investors, we care about the bottom line. Have we priced risk? It's about materiality, not morality. And I'll give you an example of that. Pension plans have woken up to the fact that if the temperature is 120 degrees in 2050, what's the point of having a pension? Pension plans have woken up to the fact that if they are supporting a group to build a textile factory in Bangladesh, it better have fire exits and foundations because it's good business. Nothing to do with human rights, in a way. And this is a collaborative network by investors, for investors, to bridge the knowledge gap. So we started this in December 2015. Nothing to do with vegetarian. It's all about factory farms. And the beauty is you can be against factory farms and not be a vegetarian. And since then, I have been astonished. I thought when I went to see fellow chief investment officers around the world, they would laugh at me. And so far, we have a $3 trillion engagement. And here are some of and when we launched it in 2015, this was some of the responses, as you can see, from the financial press. So we launched with a booklet on investment risks, and then in 2016, April 2016, we had an antibiotic engagement. We wrote to 10 restaurant chains, 71 institutional investors, 2.4 trillion of AUM. We own them. We wrote to Yum Foods, McDonald's restaurants, asking them what are they doing about antibiotics in their food supply chain. And I'm delighted to say that all had to respond, and they're all in direct dialogue with our team, and companies have already given concrete public commitments like the restaurant group, Domino's Pizzas and McDonald's, that they're phasing out antibiotics in their food supply chain. We did a second engagement on protein diversification in September 2016, and asking these 60 multinational companies like Unilever, etc., what are they doing about protein diversification? It's not sustainable. The maths doesn't work. We don't have enough cereals to feed all the animals that we need to feed the humans, but we have enough cereals to feed all the humans. And asking them what they are doing about it as long-term pension investors. And we've had all companies have responded apart from Kroger. And, well, put it up there. All these companies have responded apart from Kroger, and individual companies we're now engaging with. And examples are that Sainsbury's now collaborating with Oxford University. It's all part of just an ecosystem. We're all bits of an ecosystem working together. And that's the great thing about this conference, that we're getting a chance to do that. And you can see here the protein diversification engagement, also picked up by the press. You know, investors worth trillions urge food companies to shift from meats to plants in Reuters, etc. World Finance, why factory farming is no longer sustainable. And so FAIR is accelerating farm animal investment risk and return. It's a play on IRR, internal rate of return. It's free to join. The FAIR initiative has loads of collateral, engagement, webinars, and best of all, it's got power. Thank you very much.